There's some umbrellas shielding them. The Nepal food truck is doing to the game. Powell, who very understandably won the toss and decided to bowl first, is now searching a little bit. We've seen Sandeep Lamachani send down 3 wicketless overs after an expensive first. He's looked pretty good. And Raj Banshi, the only other bowler used alongside the 3 seamers in Gulshan Jack, Haran KC and Sampal Kami. If you're just joining us, we have to explain that we're experiencing some pretty significant technical and production issues right now. You will hopefully be able to see the feed, but not at the quality that we would like. That's due to some of those connectivity issues that we've already explained. Andrew Leonard here with you alongside Manali Patel, the former Canadian Women's International. Manali, we have to apologise one final time about those production challenges we have. We hope that it will get better. But on the cricketing end of things, certainly Canada have been pretty impressive so far.
Yes, they've anchored. They've gotten another partnership going between Navneet Dhaliwal and Pargat Singh. Just the 1 wicket down after the first drinks break.
That's nicely bowled, squares him up just the outside edge from Dhaliwal, who's been promoted back up the order. There's some pretty significant changes from that tour of the Netherlands where things were pretty tricky for the Canadians.
Yeah, no surprises there, though. Navneet Dhaliwal has been part of the top order for quite some time for Canada. He has opened the bat as well. In fact, both Aaron Johnson and him had an opening partnership of over 100 runs against the MCC, who were touring Toronto, Canada all of last week. They played a game against MCC, the first game against MCC, and they came out on top of that. So that's going to be another wide. It's a decent contest, and it was actually one of the first times that we've seen this summer.
It was actually played pretty well. And Rohit Powell, who very understanding.
5 deliveries, and it's Pargat Singh. He goes for 17.
Nepal are going to be certain to chase that down.
Got a ball back. 1 delivery to come in the over, and a little bit of pressure for Sandeep Lamachani to finish strong.
Guides it away. He'll keep the strike. Dylan Hayliger playing a really good innings here. He's 30 off 26. 7 overs remain. Canada coming alive in this contest. It's 1-7-2 for 5.
हजुरहरूको घरमा पनि धेरै खुसी ल्याउनेछ. Wishing you all a happier home.
पैसा भन्ने कुरा जुन बेला पनि चाहिन सक्छ. ठाउँको ठाउँ पैसा पठाउन मिल्ने. फोन पे त मेरो लागि एकदमै सजिलो उपाय हो. पैसा पठाऊ ठाउँको ठाउँ. फोन पे डिरेक्ट. नगद छोडौ फोन पे गरौ. चिल्लो प्लास्टर मात्र गरेको बाहिरी भित्तामा एशियन पेन्ट्स ड्याम्प प्रुफ लगाइहाल्नुस्.
विदेशबाट ई सेवा मनी ट्रान्सफर मार्फत ई सेवा वालेटमा पैसा पठाउँदा काठमाडौँमा घर जित्ने मौका.
Projected score now 200 if they continue at this rate.
Half a chip shot towards Bertel. He's going to take the catch. Clever ball from Lalit Rajbanshi. And he's ended up really just half a shot. Wasn't able to use the power that he possesses. We spoke earlier. And he was never going to drop that, and Nepal, they needed that breakthrough.
They needed that breakthrough, and they've gotten that breakthrough. Dylan Hayliger, he had a gem of an innings, but unfortunately he wasn't able to kick on from here. He goes for 30 off 27, and with that, Nepal pick up the 6th wicket. Canada 172 for 6. Timely wicket this by Nepal. Rajbanshi 2 for 25 in his spell, bowling in his 9th over. 2 important wickets that he's picked up, and credit to these bowlers that they've
DHI हजुरहरूको घरमा पनि धेरै खुसी आउनेछ. Wishing you all a happier home.
पैसा भन्ने कुरा जुन बेला पनि चाहिन सक्छ. ठाउँको ठाउँ पैसा पठाउन मिल्ने. फोन पे त मेरो लागि एकदमै सजिलो उपाय हो. पैसा पठाऊ ठाउँको ठाउँ. फोन पे डिरेक्ट नगद छोडौ फोन पे गरौ.
साथी हो गएन भने जिन्दगी भर रिग्रेट गर्नेछु. Mountain Dew डरको अगाडि जित्छ.
Tour, I know the pick of the players alongside Cherry Asmova for the men in. Thought he played really responsibly, really impressively with the bat, and then bowled very, very effectively. Rajbanshi, maybe the pick of the bowlers, isn't he? Being 2 for 25 to his name now. He's much more workmanlike, isn't he, than Sandeep Lamachane, but he's ever so effective. He's very clever. The 2 left-handers at the crease, you just wonder, will Lamachane be whipped out of the attack and maybe Irie brought back in, as Sabin Safar gets off the mark with a couple. They didn't really need to go looking for those wickets, did they? Nepal, they had them in a chokehold, but it's kind of part of their game plan, isn't it, to allow Lamachane to have as much impact on the game as possible.
Yeah, Canada haven't really gone about as well as they should have in this batting. In this batting attack, they've actually gifted a lot of wickets. Some of them are easy catches as well. It'll be really interesting to see how they navigate through to the end of the rest of the innings. 6.5 overs to come. The aggression and the big hitting in Dylan Haliger is now back in the pavilion. So you'd feel that Nick Curtin's going to have to take the charge.
Just kept a bit low. So maybe one in the first over and a couple here or there. I haven't seen that many misbehave. I think it's actually played pretty well this surface. So credit to the King City team. You have done a lot of work on these 4 pitches. Good weather is going to help. Hopefully the surfaces continue to play well, but we do continue to feel that spin will have an impact. Where to from here for Canada? 220, is that what they'll be thinking of with the last 6?
220 should be on the cards. Unfortunately, that wicket might have different plans.
Oh, edged away. The second time, no slip in place is going to cost a potential wicket-taking opportunity. Very nearly cost 4 runs, but Curtin is wise to the fact that it wasn't the greatest piece of fielding, and they'll pick up 3 down to that short boundary. Outstanding running from Nicholas Curtin. I think it was Lamachane who was, well, a little tardy with the fielding, to say the least. 44 have been bowled. It's 179 for 6.
लागि सबैभन्दा उपयुक्त स्टेनलेस स्टिल वाटर ट्याङ्क पञ्चकन्या एसएस ट्याङ्क 10 वर्षदेखि गुणस्तरीय सेवामा समर्पित
तपाईको असली एनर्जी रेड बुल असली नै रोजौ.
क्वालिटी हेर्नु हुँदो रहेछ, मूल्य होइन.
नो कम्प्रोमाइज विथ धारा साउजी.
अब उत्सव हुन्छ अझै बढी रमाइलो. किन्नुहोस् 400 ml मात्र रु 50 मा.
So it will be Dipender Singh Irie to come in to bowl his 4th, meaning that Lamachane, for the moment, will still have 1 left. Not sure if he's going to bowl out or not. Different kind of makeup, don't they, to most international teams, Nepal, but because they have those challenges with the seam bowlers at the death, they do bowl a lot of spin in this 3rd and final power play. Curtin looks for a big hit into the leg side. Isn't able to get it, and Bim Sharkey does really well to keep that to 1. Yeah, 220, I think, could make a fascinating contest. I don't think by any stretch Nepal will consider themselves favourites in the chase.
Well, they've got just a little more than 5 overs to come, and it's going to come down to how they maneuver those last 5 overs. Nearly indecision there. Sent back Saad bin Zafar. And it's the fielding. They're so watchful, and they have to be watchful. Pargat Singh, the only remaining all-rounder left after this.
This one's cut away. Again, we do have some production issues right now, whereby we can only show you the one camera. This one bounces a little more, cut away for another single. Is Zafar's job here just really to get Curtin on strike?
Absolutely. Nick Curtin definitely the more able with the bat between the two. He's also quite aggressive in his style of batting.
Now, big appeal. Dipender Singh Airi wants the LBW, and he can't get it going in his favour. We're not going to be able to give you the replay, but Curtin's indicating there might have been some glove involved. End of the 45th, 184 for 6.
Well, that's the first sign of some unorthodox batting. He brings out the reverse. Wasn't able to get any back.
Wishing you all a happier home.
चिल्लो प्लास्टर मात्र गरेको बाहिरी भित्तामा एसियन पेन्ट्स ड्याम्प प्रुफ लगाइहाल्नुहोस्।
यति कार्पेट किन्दा कार्पेटको पछाडि यतिको लोगो हेर्न नबिर्सिनु होला। यति कार्पेट, कार्पेटको शहंशाह।
Powell swept around the corner. That's going to be 4. Saad bin Zafar has started nicely. He's got more of a role to play than just picking up those singles. And the runs continuing to come for Canada.
Needed, much needed. They want to try and get close to that 220 mark to have something to defend. Bowlers are going to have to work hard. The pitch has improved significantly as well as time has gone on. The run's a little bit easier to come. Going down the ground and a single off the mark. Saad Zafar, good strategy this, good cricket from Canada. Making sure that Nick Curtin tries and gets as much of the strike as possible. The only remaining batter as he goes down the ground, and this is going to be a maximum. Nick Curtin taking the attack to the Nepalese bowlers with that maximum. It was a tracer bullet straight down the ground. Much needed as well.
It's the danger of Nicholas Curtin, isn't it? It really is. He's equally effective probably any stage of the inning. Back live now. Good between the wickets. He should get a couple here comfortably because that's very well placed. And Powell's 5th over is proving to be a costly one. Nepal's lack of death bowling options, they never really found a solution to it, did they? It's maybe been the one weak point, the one real Achilles heel of the Desai era. Well, that's going to be 6 more. Bit too easy for Nicholas Curtin here. And bang, bang, goes down the ground twice in the over. It's the biggest over of the inning. We've seen 17 runs come from it, and we see Canada bring the 200 up. 46 bowled, 203 for 6.
Well, that one has to be the shot of the day from Nick Curtin. Went for a 6, a couple balls before.
तपाईको असली एनर्जी रेड बुल असली नै रोजौं
हो यस्तै ससाना खुसी समेट्नको लागि हिमालयन ब्याङ्कले दिन्छ 1% थप ब्याज दर हिमाल रेमिट बचत तथा मुद्दती खातामा हिमालयन ब्याङ्क
Now Curtin goes big again, and he's going to get great reward. 6 more. This game is changing in front of our eyes right now. Canada are getting themselves, I think, into a positive position. Maybe even for the first time ahead in the contest. Now Irie is not spared from the damage. Another big maximum down the ground, and Curtin moves to within 1 of 50, one blow of 50.
No surprises here that it's the skipper, Nick Curtin, doing what it takes for his side, and I think we're going to have another lost ball here. That was another powerfully struck hit down the ground. He's targeted that area, playing in the V. 46 off 34, just one hit away from a half century. In Canada, they've cleared that 200 mark. In fact, they're racing to the 220 mark, and Nepal's going to have to be very careful here. They're going to have to be careful how they navigate through the remaining 3.5 overs, because things can turn very quickly and take the game away from them.
Definitely a case of the old habits, the old difficulties for Nepal coming back to bite them here. Really have had much of this first innings under control, but their lack of death bowling options, again, just left them leaving a little more exploited than they would like. Irie is good at the death, but he's now been hit for a big 6. Curtin's array of shots and his range of options are proving hard for Nepal to tie down. That's cleverly bowled, just the single. But they just haven't been able to keep Sadbin Safar to much of the strike.
They've really pushed the fielders here, these two. They've targeted the quick singles. They're looking for the overthrows, the misfields.
The single, they won't mind that, but the problem is that Canada have all the momentum now. We spoke about 220, that's, well, miles away. That's dreamland for Nepal. 250, 260 on the cards here with a big final 3, particularly if Curtin is still there for the final delivery. Now it's going to be 6 more. Curtin putting on a clinic. He goes to 50 in real style, over the head of the primarily Nepali fans in the crowd, but they're going to stand and give him an ovation. He's got to 50 off 36 deliveries. He struggled with the captaincy in the Netherlands, but back on home soil, Curtin back to his very best, and what a knock this has been.
Captain's knock, really, and he has been dealing in maximums. 6s all around. He hit a few down the ground, and this time he goes to the offside. 2 4s, 4 6s as he brings up his half century. 53.
हजुरहरूको घरमा पनि धेरै खुसी ल्याउनेछ. Wishing you all a happier home.
चिल्लो प्लास्टर मात्र गरेको बाहिरी भित्तामा एसियन पेन्ट्स ड्याम्प प्रुफ लगाइहाल्नुहोस्.
मेरो मोबाइलमा चल्छ यी सेवा.
साथी हो गन भने जिन्दगी भर रिग्रेट गर्नेछु. माउन्टेन ड्यू डरको अगाडि जित्छ.
Sampal Kami comes into the attack. We're going to see some pace. Saad bin Zafar, I'm sure he's just itching to get off the mark, bring Nick Curtin back on. A lot of gaps in the field as well to be able to do that.
It's Sampal Kami that they turn to, and the changes worked immediately. Karen Casey has a few of the Nepal fans dancing up in the crowd. No real celebrations. It was a change of pace. I think it's that knuckleball that he's definitely been working on. He gets his first wicket. And more conventional options at the death with medium pacers have worked the oracle. Saad bin Safar is dismissed.
Making him reach for that delivery. No pace as well. Straight up in the air. And a comfortable catch. Saad bin Zafar. He's out 17 off 14 deliveries for him. And with that, Canada, they lose their 7th wicket. 220 for 7 after 47.1 overs.
DHI ले हजुरहरूको घरमा पनि धेरै खुसी ल्याउनेछ. Wishing you all a happier home.
पैसा भन्ने कुरा जुन बेला पनि चाहिन सक्छ. ठाउँको ठाउँ पैसा पठाउन मिल्ने. फोन पे त मेरो लागि एकदमै सजिलो उपाय हो. पैसा पठाऊ ठाउँको ठाउँ. फोन पे डिरेक्ट नगद छोडौ फोन पे गरौ.
साथी हो गन भने जिन्दगी भर रिग्रेट गर्नेछु. माउन्टेन ड्यू डरको अगाडि जित्छ.
Number 9. And he's certainly capable of hitting a big ball too, isn't he?
Absolutely. Surprised to not see any Pargat Singh out in the middle. As Kaleem Sana comes out to the middle. Good tactic though, this. He is a more aggressive batter. He's on the mark for 5 deliveries here. Unless he can get Nick Curtin back on.
Another change in pace. You can see Sampal Kami is clearly varying things, isn't he? We're seeing leg cutters. We're seeing deliveries out of the back of the hand. Is it a case that Nepal have just tried to get a bit too funky? They've kind of looked at the matchups. They've said, okay, well, there's 2 left-handers in. We have to bowl the off-spinners.
That, or maybe just some really good batting.
Yep, definitely a part of it. Cut away behind square. Now Kushal Mala's had a good day in the field. That continues to be the case, but his throw won't prevent Kaleem Sana getting back for the second. I'm not sure if Curtin wanted it, but they have taken it, meaning the strike will be retained by the number 9.
Well, every run is important here, but you want to make sure that your more aggressive batter is getting strike as often as possible. He's the one who's been able to strike the big blows.
Another change of pace, clever from Kami. It wasn't like there wasn't overs of seamers to turn to. It's just that historically, particularly the TU ground, Kami and KC have had issues, haven't they, at the death. Kami's probably been the one who's worked the hardest at his death bowling, tried to find variations.
Oftentimes some of these variations, you don't give enough credit to these bowlers. They're not easy to perfect. But when they're executed well, it does make a big difference. This is turning out to be good over for Nepal.
Curtin tries to break that with another good strike into the leg side. Kami thought that Kushal Mala might have been able to get there. Won't be a maximum, but will be 4 more. Curtin just continues along his merry way.
Every time I have said that, every time I've complimented the bowling, something of that nature has happened. I'll take the responsibility for that, Sampal Kami, but that's 4 more runs to the Canadian total. Pulled away and placed to absolute perfection. Nick Curtin's having quite a knockout there, a captain's knock, as we look for the ball yet again.
Why is it that the Curtin has changed his game so significantly? When he first came into the side for Canada, he found it really difficult to score quickly, didn't he?
I think he's game over the years. He's really figured out a science almost of what works for him and how he needs to pace his innings. He's got a very good understanding of his innings and how he needs to pace it. He's got all the repertoire of shots as well, which allows him to be able to do that.
Now Curtin goes again. Well, this is an exhibition. It goes straight on to the tent. It's a big six. It's been quite sensational. Nicholas Curtin is driving Canada up to a total that could well be a winning one. Despite the wicket in the over, 13 runs come from it. It's 233 for 7.
Made his intentions very clear on that shot. Wide open stance, allowing him to be able to free those arms into the leg side. Gets the elevation, gets the distance, and he adds 6 more to the Canadian total.
Well, this has just been so good, hasn't it, from Nicholas Curtin? He's transformed his game. I was surprised they gave him the captaincy, not because he's...
मिलेटबाट बनेको हरेक निर्माणको मेरुदण्ड पञ्चकन्या 500 XT र 550 XT
पञ्चकन्या स्टिल
Can't wait, won't wait. Sunfeast Dark Fantasy.
तपाईको असली एनर्जी रेड बुल असली नै रोजौं
विदेशबाट ई सेवा मनी ट्रान्सफर मार्फत ई सेवा वालेटमा पैसा पठाउँदा काठमाडौँमा घर जित्ने मौका.
Early in the innings and only gone for 10. Canada very much on track for 250, maybe quite a bit more than that if Nicholas Curtin can get the strike. You've one job here, Kalim Sana. Find your skipper a single. Instead, he looks to smash one for 6, and smash it he does all the way. There's a bit of a wind that's got up, and I just wonder, is it prevailing across that direction? So hitting with the wind, it's a good option. Nepal's death bowling options here, they're being exposed, and exposed very harshly by Canada, who are putting on a batting clinic at the end.
The wheels are starting to come off here for Nepal. They've done so well for most of this innings, held it together. And these last 12 overs have really put a dent in those figures. Kalim Sana joining the party with Nick Curtin with maximum off of his bat. Good looking shot. The sound was just so beautiful off the bat as well. A good piece of willow in his hands.
And protection going to go out onto the leg side. That really is Kalim Sana's area. Still only 4 fielders on that leg side. Long on, deep mid wicket, deep backward square in place. Comes off probably the glove. Sana's going to want the second, but I think Curtin will be happy with the single. And it is off. It's not off the glove, maybe the shoulder. The umpire had to think about it and has given it his leg buys. And Kalim Sana is saying it's my glove. He wants the run.
He is holding his shoulder there, though. I don't know about that one.
I can assure you if the keeper had caught it, he would have said it was off the shoulder. Batters have a great way of twisting.
Listen, they only get one chance to bat.
No, true, and very true. Different to baseball, isn't it? So all those comparisons during the World Cup. Now, short straight boundary for Curtin, 57 metres, the final over from the north end of the ground. Curtin might just be thinking, can I face all 10 of these remaining deliveries? Can I get Canada up to 270? 275 isn't out of the question. This time, miscues one though. What an exceptional piece of fielding. Well, that... It's not Irie this time, it's Kushal Bertel, a one-handed pickup on an uneven field and a flat throw over the top from 65 metres. Superb.
It has been nothing short of exceptional in the field from Nepal. Rocket arms, accurate throws, and just the amount of distance that they cover in a short amount of time.
Well, that throw there would not in any way have been out of place in downtown Toronto. The Skydome, would it? That would have been perfect for the Toronto Blue Jays. On a difficult outfield, that's outstanding. Casey's going to come round the wicket. I think he's going to look outside the off stump. He does. Sana hammers it away to Sharkey, who doesn't quite have the same power in the arm, but keeps it to a single nonetheless.
Every run is such a contest from here on end. Two deliveries to come in the over. 9 runs off of it so far. And Nick Curtin's back on strike.
Clever bowling. First time we've seen at the death one of the Nepal seamers go into the surface, and surely, given the kind of a spongy bounce out of the surface, maybe that's the best way to go.
Nick Curtin practicing what should have been the shot. He's lining up for the next one in case it's going to be short. Getting ready for that pull. It's not the easiest to time the ball on these wickets. The ball doesn't come on as well as you'd like. It is a bit spongy, a bit slow.
Looks for the block hole, and Curtin smashes it for 6 more. What a knock this has been. I think one of the best I've maybe ever seen in Cricket World Cup League 2, given the circumstances, the conditions and the match situation. He's got to 70 off 41. Canada 248 for 7.
Another glorious looking shot from Nick Curtin. Going down the ground. There was a fielder there. He just watched it sail over his head though. The amount of power that he has coming off of that bat, and he just looks so confident with every shot that he's played. No second thought about how he goes about playing all around, and it's incredible.
DHI हजुरहरूको घरमा पनि धेरै खुसी ल्याउनेछ. Wishing you all a happier home.
चिल्लो प्लास्टर मात्र गरेको बाहिरी भित्तामा एसियन पेन्ट्स ड्याम प्रुफ लगाइहाल्नुहोस्. पैसा भन्ने कुरा जुन बेला पनि चाहिन सक्छ. ठाउँको ठाउँ पैसा पठाउन मिल्ने फोन पे त मेरो लागि एकदमै सजिलो उपाय हो. पैसा पठाऊ ठाउँको ठाउँ. फोन पे डिरेक्ट, नगद छोडौ, फोन पे गरौ.
Now Kami is going to be taken on for the single. Direct hit from Asif Sheikh, but Curtin is so quick. He's got home anyway. That was a great piece of keeping, but it's going to end up with a bye conceded next to his name. Good game recognition from Nicholas Curtin that he just has to get back on strike. I'll tell you something, we could be in danger. We're in the long on region. This was superb glove work, but how quick is Curtin?
So early to take off. Good basics. Grounding his bat.
Just home. Maybe just home. I've seen a few decisions that the marginal ones go against Nepal. They've all actually gone the home way. But I think for me, particularly without the ability to have a referral, we've no third umpire. Not sure whether you can give that out. Now look at the guard he's taking here. Nicholas Curtin, he's saying I want to bat on off stump. He's taking LBW and bowl out of the game. He's just backing himself to hit it. Manali, be on your toes here. And could be in action and long on. Depender Singh Ari's in front of us.
I hope you're ready to take the catch, Lenny.
Where's Cammy going to go? Looks for the wide block hole, really well bowled, but Curtin reacts very well. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get back on strike. Another good piece of fielding in the deep, but the bounce has caught Sheikh out, and it means that Curtin gets back on strike. How critical could that be? Good awareness from Canada's captain.
Unfortunate for Nepal. They wanted to make sure that he was at the non-strikers. Not to be, though. He's moved on to 72 off 42, but more importantly, Canada has now passed 250. 4 deliveries yet to come.
भएको विश्वासिलो गुणस्तरीय अनि राम्रो नो कम्प्रोमाइज विथ धारा साउजी
यति कार्पेट किन्दा कार्पेटको पछाडि यतिको लोगो हेर्न नबिर्सिनुहोला। यति कार्पेट, कार्पेटको सेन्स।
And it's a big swing and a miss. Sheikh probably shouldn't throw out the stumps, but he does, and Curtin gets the dive in. You won't have seen any of that because we're still on the replay. But it's another bye to finish out the 50th over, finish out the final delivery of the innings. It's been a dramatic innings. Canada have somehow got up to north of 250. It didn't look likely for most of that first innings. And you've got to say that could well be a winning score on a surface that played a little bit better than we expected. A very green tinge to it, but on the whole, apart from a little bit of spin on offer, it generally played pretty well.